Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shooting Dice. This is going to be a live play podcast, with a little bit of editing to make everything make sense as we go along. We are going to be playing a new tabletop RPG that recently came out of Kickstarter called Break. And it is a tabletop RPG that is heavily inspired by a lot of the old video games and some anime. And when we saw it, we were all pretty much on the same page of we need to play it. And I have been personally wanting to do a podcast for a while. So here we are doing it. I will be the host of Shooting Dice, as well as the game master, the GM for my players. My name is Hunter Childers. And if my players could please introduce themselves, please start from the beginning of the list in Discord.
All right, so I guess that's going to be me from the start. Hi, I am Trent Hall. I'm actually pretty excited to play this too. I've been looking forward to it, like literally ever since you brought it to my attention. But I am out on a work trip right now, so I got a nice little setup here, and hopefully we can make this laptop last until the session is over.
God, please don't let it die.
Hopefully. But yeah, as far as I know, that's all I need to give you guys. So I'm gonna pass it on over.
Hi, I'm Bruno. Fun fact, I have no idea what I'm playing for this session because Break has a randomization thing we're going to be trying out, and I'm the guinea pig. So if I seem a little frantic, you know why.
Self-appointed guinea pig.
Yeah, okay. Well, you didn't have to put that in there. Give me some kind of pity points.
He's got to have some kind of
our last person.
I am Kolby Gilbert. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to be in here as well. I think it'll be a good time. I've loved tabletop RPGs for a while, and I'm happy to be able to do it in a podcast format and with, some people I'm friends with. And also, fun fact, JJ is confirmed to be the guinea pig.
That's not very nice of you.
Yeah, pretty strong start there.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it, I guess.
Yeah, all right. I just had to take one for the team. I'm used to it.
So we want to start off by creating his character real quick.
There will be a point in the session that will happen, but before we actually do begin, I will just go ahead and point out that although we are using the break system, like with most podcasts for tabletop RPGs, we are not affiliated with the creators of this podcast. We're not affiliated with the creators of the podcast. Well, shit, guys, I guess we can't do it.
Dang it.
Bamboozled again.
Yeah. We aren't officially affiliated. We aren't officially sponsored by the creators of Break. So, it was something that I felt should be mentioned because it is relatively new, and as far as I am aware, there are relatively few other podcasts or even streams of this happening at time of upload. That can change in the future, so. But with that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and begin?
Let's get cooking, baby.
Sure.
We start in a void of nothing. There is no form for your characters, nor is there thought, prescience. There is just existence for you. With no sight and no sound, eventually something, or someone in this case, decides to disrupt this manner of life that you have been experiencing for some time. So we're gonna hope that this works and you guys can hear it just fine as a voice cuts through the void.
Hear me, O souls of the unbound. I beckon thee, come unto me so I may grant thee presence upon this world.
And with that sound in I would say just coming from all sides surrounding you, a woman kind of appears in this void, and she is tall elegant. She has long pink hair, and she is holding her hands out, awaiting for the souls that you can now see around you, these floating sparks of life that have begun to appear in this void. And as she is standing there, these sparks of life are kind of swirling around almost in a hesitant manner. And the first one that will come forward is a small red ball. And this soul has, as it gets closer and closer to this goddess, this red ball from it, these metal plates begin swirling around the outside of it as if it's a container for it, but it doesn't cover it completely. It's just small patches of like metal plates. And in the inside, surrounding this ball, inside of the metal plates, there are large swaths of this pulsating energy that are beginning to orbit the red ball as it comes closer and closer to this goddess. But the pulsating energy that is outside of this small red ball is unstable, glitching and tearing itself apart and trying to pull itself back together, while the plates are kind of like pushing in on it, trying to keep this energy contained. And when it gets closer to the goddess, she replies with,
I should have known one of the original constructors would come so quickly. To protect the great legacy is a fitting task for one who built it.
And she raises her hand, and a small light begins to engulf this red ball. And from it comes the first player. Please describe what happens as you are given form.
I am a biomechanoid, and for the most part, I do look like perfectly human, like I could blend in with everybody else. I guess as far as like physical traits, I mean, I'm not too big, too small, just like a very average, normal size looking person. Maybe I haven't really thought about like hair color or anything like that. So let's stick with just like black hair and maybe like darker eye, like brown eyes. I'm gonna do it that way.
All right, if that is all for your description of your character, once you appear in this black void, you come almost floating down, and your feet lands almost like there should be something that you're walking on, but there is nothing there, as it's kind of like these sparks of life, almost like stars in a pitch black sky, are going around you. And as you look around and you are given form for the first time, and you can feel like your fingers, you're able to move them, your operating system is giving you reports on your surroundings, and like you're able to not see a lot, but what you can see, you're able to like, get information on it. And the next soul begins to float down toward the goddess, hearing her call. And this one is now a large, like basketball-sized green orb, but instead of like those metal plates that were shown on your mechanoid soul, this one is surrounded by these like reptilian dragon scales that kind of like coat it like armor. And it is much more intact than the previous one. And as it floats down, the goddess calls out with,
Interesting. One who has no guidance comes to lead. Perhaps, in the end, this is what you were made for, to be a hero.
And she holds out her hand once again, and the ball of light begins to grow and form a body this time, instead of building itself together like the last one. Would the Promethean of the group please describe what you look like?
Hello. My character's name is Soloman Sanders. He is a very large, about 8'6" guy, no hair, except for on his face, where he has a very full, thick, manly black beard. his skin is a dark red, but with purple scales, kind of splotchy, just in no certain area. But most of them kind of look like in the shape of cuts or wounds of some sort where these purple scales are. He's an older type guy. You can see he's been worn down quite a bit. And he's just all around, imposing character.
All right. That reminds me, Trent, did you give your name for your character?
Did not give my name for my character.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was supposed to, but I was like, I'm going to throw it out there. If we have to edit it out, we can.
That's fine. I would actually like to know his character's name. I forgot it.
Okay. As of right now, I think I decided to go with Handy because I feel like it's very fitting for what my character is, going to play out to be. So we're gonna stick with Handy for this one. Just one name, no last name.
All right. So whenever Sanders kind of starts floating down next to you, and this tall, imposing figure is now stood by your side, your kind of heads-up display kind of gives you information on like how tall he is, just different stats that you would get from your heads-up display, and this is a moment to introduce yourselves to each other.
How you doing, bud? Soloman Sanders here.
Confused. Handy, at your service.
Which hand?
Yes.
Okay, that's a bit of a confusing answer you gave there. How about we just what's your name?
Handy.
Oh, okay, I get you. So Handy's your name, not okay. I thought you were like lending me a hand there, and
yes.
You wanted me to choose. You are. Okay. So you are a friend?
Yes, pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you too, bud. This is a real confusing situation we're in right now, but we'll get through it, Handy, me and you,
I don't believe I have data for this particular scenario.
Yeah, no, I don't, me either, bud, but, we'll figure it out, take it one step at a time and see where it takes us.
I can step.
Glad to know that. I didn't want to have to carry you around. I would. You look like a real good fella, but, it would have been a real pain. My back's kind of, not as good as it used to be, so, but I would if I had to, but the fact you can step is good.
I will note that I look like a real good fella. Thank you.
You're welcome,
The goddess is trying to stifle a laugh watching this interaction, and you both are able to notice just throughout your interactions there's not a whole lot to look at in this void. So this dominating figure that is in the center of it all kind of is something that you have a hard time not looking at this point because of how much space she's able to take up. And she kind of looks off into the distance. It's like a 1,000-yard stare, and she has this pained look on her face, and you follow her gaze, and through these the stars that are in the distance, you see a mass of different colors as far as the stars are. So it's like, there are green, there are red ones, there's like purple souls that are out there, but there is one single light that starts to get bigger and bigger, but it is slowly fading in as if it's this weak pinprick that is getting closer and closer, and it is of a unique color as far as you two have seen thus far, and it is this like baby blue light that is flowing down. And unlike what Handy saw with Solomon's soul, this one is not a big round ball. This is like a deflated balloon almost, as it has a trail going behind it, like this wispy blue dot is getting closer and closer, smaller than any of the other souls that you have seen thus far, with no definite shape. It comes in, and the goddess calls out to it, saying,
Of course you've come to my call. I was hoping you wouldn't be able to hear that far out. You know what's at stake, my friend. To do this so many times. This will be your final traversal. You need to make it count.
And she, this time, whereas before each time it was almost like she was just holding out a hand, giving some energy to give you form, this time she has to concentrate and gather more and more light compared to before. And as she does, her form kind of takes on that same wispy, deflated sense of power that was shown in the previous soul. And she kind of starts losing definition almost. Like, whereas before you could see her like she was standing before you, now it's like the resolution of her image is decreasing by the second. And as she is, the little pinprick blue light with nothing to protect it begins to grow brighter and brighter, and it is now given form. So here is the interesting part of Break, where they include tables to determine pretty much everything about your character. So, JJ, roll us your character.
Okay. I guess we'll start with species.
Yes,
So-
we start with species. Give me a roll and I will describe it for you. I have everything pulled up. It's not /R, it's just /roll.
Oh, I see. Sending command. The application did not respond. Dice
Of course,
Grub is
the dice
offline.
bot is.
It was on. It was online literally when we started recording.
Oh my god!
All right.
Of course, it's offline. Hang on.
Look, I can.
Yeah, I guess you can just
Well,
go
I
to
guess
like
that's it
Google.
for the podcast.
Yeah, I'll
Google, go to like a character generator or something. In the meantime, I will get us the Avari bot, which is another one. Hang on, invite link.
Okay. Here we go. Let me stream this. What a fucking shame.
What's like the level of, I guess, interrupting? Like, while you were describing that, if we wanted to kind of roleplay what we're seeing.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
In this moment,
didn't
you're
wanna,
free
like,
to
interrupt. So, Handy, this kind of lady here, you have any idea what she's about? I have no idea who she is, so, like, I'm pretty confused.
I don't believe I have any data for this particular scenario. So no, I don't have anything to say on this situation.
Okay.
Do you have data that you could provide for this scenario?
No, I'm not dating her, but, not against it. I mean, but I'm not, she looks pretty dapper, but, the lights, do you know anything about those by chance? I know absolutely nothing. It got me with my pants down here.
Yes, I have collected some data for this. Upon your arrival, these lights seem to be other people.
Okay, so the lights are people.
Yes, you were one of those lights, and I have noted that.
Okay. Oh, was I bright? I gotta know.
You were a very bright red.
Nice. Good. Glad to hear that. Sorry I didn't see your light. I would have told you.
From my data, I can only assume that I was also a light. Of what color, I am not sure.
I'm sure it was a good one, but hey, take this as a chance to pick your color. You can just say whatever you want, whatever color.
Can I choose a color?
If you want to. Not saying it's 100% what you were, but, whatever you want to think you were.
This does not make sense, but I can humor you.
Okay.
I would like to also be bright red.
Okay. Bright red guys here. We're the Bright Red Gang.
Bright Red Gang. I will make sure to note this.
Okay.
As you're saying this, the blue light is finally filling in and giving form to itself, and as it comes in, it has a JJ, go ahead and just describe your character for everyone now that we know what it is.
I come into form, a cat-like humanoid. Ugh. I have big fluffy ears on top of my head. I'm wearing nothing but a loincloth as of right now as I come into this world shaped.
How big are you?
I am a medium size, so I'm gonna say like a little bit shorter than like an average height. I'm gonna go with like 5'5".
So about JJ size.
Okay, fuck you.
About JJ. Yeah, you managed to roll Rai Neko. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I think so.
So we have a Promethean Rai Neko and a Biomechanoid as our players. Alright, so as you are coming into form, it is not fully complete yet. So now we need you to roll for your Homeland History. I believe it's the next one that we're able to do.
Yes.
So go ahead and give me another roll.
I'm gonna do it for the Twilight Meridian.
Well, we can also roll your Homeland table.
Oh, I see. You're right.
Yep.
I'm learning so
Yep.
many things.
Yep, so go ahead and roll a d20 and then I will help bring it down.
Dark.
The Wistful Dark. Alright, roll again. Let's see which one you get.
Give me 1 second. I gotta update my sheet, not gonna lie. Species, right, Nico, because I'm going to forget all of this. Homeland, Wistful Dark, and I get an extra language. That's what I don't want to forget. I know nothing about all of these, so I'm gonna go with Dream Call, because that sounds cool.
Okay.
Wistful Dark.
Dream Call is perhaps the first language, perhaps not. Haunting and Poetic. It is used by the strange and unshaped. I'm reading straight from the book. I don't know how good that is. Guys, we're gonna get copyright strike.
Okay,
Anyways.
so Wistful Dark Histories. I'm gonna roll another d20 and we'll see what I get.
14. You are a part of the Commoners. You are a guild agent.
I see.
Someone whose purviews are making and spotting a good deal, working at a brisk pace, and keeping others satisfied.
Interesting.
Alright, well, you now have to go through...
I'm getting an idea of how I want to play this character. It's all coming together, and I hope you don't hate me for it.
Nah, I'm sure it'll be fine. So, I will... upon the final forming of your character, the divine who stood before you, tall, grand, and resplendent in power, is now almost the same size as you, having shrunk, losing most of her power, and losing most of her definition. You know, you're not able to even see her hair. Her body has almost taken on a ghost-like appearance, losing a lot of features. Like you're no longer able to see like her arm. She's missing like the lower half of her body, only the top part remaining with her face. And with seeing everyone finally fully formed, she will give a almost saddened look to everyone, a slight smile, and as she begins to fade away, waving you off with just a couple of words.
For you who have heard my call and been granted form, I now command thee, by my rights and my lineage, as the final divine of Outerworld, go, and in my stead, save and protect those who cannot.
And with her final words echoing out, she just almost melts into the floor, completely disappearing. And from where she stood, there is now only a small pinprick of white light that is slowly growing in the floor that you are now stood on. However slow it may be, as it begins to grow, the stars and souls that surrounded you almost like it was orbiting this divine, looking for a chance to come into being like you did. They begin to filter out, almost dimming out of existence. And the light before you just begins to slowly grow.
So I would assume the logical answer would be to walk towards this light.
Well, I forgot to say something about my description, and I was gonna try and like role play that out with me trying to ask this lady, like, a question essentially.
What would the question be?
It's about the eye patch thing. I'm just gonna be like, so this, my eye, you couldn't make me with two working ones, could you? Like,
it seems that this person is no longer in our presence. I don't know that requesting another eye would help.
Well, it seems like she is kind of just all around. So I wanted to ask, could I get an eyeball that works? Please? No?
As you call out, there is no response as the light grows wider and wider, almost as if it's not like a light from a light bulb. It's just like a white circle is just slowly growing in the center. It has not even reached like an inch yet. So, JJ, who is your character?
A name
is
and
their
all?
name? Yes. This is your chance to introduce yourself. We don't know your character.
Okay. My name is Pako. Full name, Pako Ittel. I'm a Rai Nico. I have brown hair, but like pretty like tan skin. Typically like actually me in real life, except I've been in the sun all week. If for comparison.
Okay, well that doesn't help our podcast listeners. They don't know you.
Yeah, rats. I don't know a good reference.
I think what you've done so far is fine.
Yeah, just like...
I'm thinking.
You've had all this time to think.
Fuck you! You guys have had so much time to think about your characters.
JJ, you quite literally asked for
this path.
I know, but I just thought of my name. I like Pako Ittel though. That's cute. Maybe you guys can help me, right? So I'm thinking of like Arabian Nights kind of vibe with my character. Think of like Aladdin and shit, right?
So like a Khajiit?
Yeah, like a Khajiit, except I look like a human, but I straight up just have cat ears and a tail.
Okay, so now I have to ask the question. Do you also have human ears below your cat ears?
No.
Yeah. So you're not covered in fur?
No, I'm not covered in fur. I look like
Dang it.
human, except I have big poofy cat ears on top and a tail.
Do your cat ears have fur, or are they naked?
They do have fur.
I don't know, just describe it as like, I mean, the easiest way to say, hey, I'm this skin tone without saying, hey, I'm this skin tone is say, I look like somebody who may be from like Egypt, that area of the world.
Yeah, the people listening are going to be human beings who live on Earth, so you can just
Wait,
reference common knowledge.
Wait, I thought we were streaming to Outer World. Why are we streaming to Other World?
Confused. This makes it so much easier.
How could I have been so foolish?
My character is akin to someone like you would see over in Egypt or in the eastern side of the world. Eastern is right? Because the W is to the left, the E is to the right.
Never eat slimy worms, baby.
Never heard that, but I will keep that in my mind in the recesses somewhere.
Also, before we forget, we also need to roll your quirk. So I need 2 more D20 rolls.
Ooh, that's rough. Let me pull up the page for it.
I already have it pulled up. Don't worry. I'll read it off for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
No whammy, no whammy. Hot dice. Hot dice.
Dang,
20, baby,
natural
let's go.
20. You get a fate quirk.
Hey.
That's the second time you've rolled a d20, by the way. Or a
Okay,
natural
do I need
20.
to roll again?
Yes, roll one more time. We now know. So fate quirk.
We
Dang,
take
Jeez, Avare is treating you nice.
Just wait till that injury table comes up, baby.
You have, oh my god, no, your quirk is crowned. As a child, you assisted a kindly fairy who bestowed upon you a grand title. While this prestige is entirely unrecognized among conventional nobility and may even invite ridicule, immortals treat you with due respect. Titles include, but are not limited to, Queen of Unfinished Songs, Prince of Grass, Our Lady of Chocolate, and Earl of Lost Buttons. Don't worry, all of that will not actually be canon. That's just what's in the book. I actually now have something in mind for that. I will work with you afterwards, but that is your quirk.
Okay. Where can I put that on my sheet? I don't see quirks. Yes, I do. What is it called?
Crowned. I will give you the
That
chance
is
to describe your crown, though.
Sick.
You now have a
So I
permanent
actually
crown
get
you
a
have to
crown?
always wear. Yes, I'm going to say you have a crown and you can't take it off.
Oh man, I don't want to think of this on the spot because I don't want to like ruin it for me for the future.
Well,
Um,
we can change it.
it's not a big crown. It's a very kind of, I don't want to say like dainty, right? But it's very thin. It doesn't really speak outwardly a lot.
So
kinda like
it's
thin
more of
metal,
like
Sorry, go ahead.
I would like those headbands that you would see in like Skyrim that aren't actually like crowns or anything like that. They're just like a jewel and then chain going around your head or something like that.
Yes, but like how I imagine it, think of it more like a ring for your head. It's a little bit thicker than just like a little piece of metal going around, right?
Circlet, that's what I was thinking of.
Circlet. Yeah, kind of like a circlet, except for like the top part, if there's only like triangles that start from the side that start off really small and then meet up together in the middle to make a big triangle. No gems or anything.
Crowned is what you get for your prestige ranking for going back multiple times.
How do you roll on Avari?
It's /R D20.
It's exclamation point roll space 1d20.
Oh, right, they changed it. Yeah, exclamation point R space D20 will get you a D20 roll. I like how we had 2 D20s in a roll, or 2 natural 20s in a roll, and then I rolled a 2. There you go, 14. There you go. We got to work it. All right. So, as y'all are standing in this darkness, and you're talking amongst yourselves with all of this going on, as Soloman calls out with seemingly no response, there is from this white, like small circle that is beginning to expand in the space before you, there is a loud crack and shattering of glass as this white circle expands into this large, like 50-foot circle that you're now standing on, and it, like, you can see the shattering and the cracking in this this glass that you were standing on, and it is almost like a giant stained glass window that you would see in like a church, and the way that it's cracked and colored and with like the light shining through it, and suddenly it just gives way and you begin to fall. Now, there is a interesting mechanic when it comes to perils, as you are now in the first peril. Let me see if I can freaking find it. I don't know why it didn't write it down. It's like at 100 and something. Where's it at? Show me where the perils are at.
You walk away, you don't really say, please.
Please! Oh, baby! Don't go.
All right. Kolby over
Sorry.
here like, I don't know what this is from.
Yeah, what
I
in the
had to
world?
get that out. You didn't understand, but there
you're
was a
good.
major Kingdom Hearts reference that was just said.
Oh,
I hate to break it to you, but I'm not done. As you're falling, I want to know everyone's reaction as they're falling, as the floor begins to crack before the fall happens. I want to know what everyone's doing.
I'm gonna widen my stance. I'm gonna put my arms out. I'm gonna scan around, see if there's anything I can do. That's it. That's it.
Solomon's just as it's cracking, just like, whoa, the floor's going, fellas. Everybody, it seems as if the floor's going here. I don't know why, and he's just kind of panicking.
Paco's gonna put his ear to the floor. Try to figure out what's going on. Diagnosing the floor. See if he can figure this out.
As you do, the floor gives way and you all begin to fall. But off in the distance, there is a tiny light that is slowly getting bigger and bigger, what it seems that you're falling toward. And just like before, where the floor was made out of this stained glass, what's before you is this stylized, circle of glass that has been stained with an image that is, you recognize almost immediately. The prominent figure of this stained glass floor is of the divine that you were just talking to, and below her, with her arms stretched out, in almost as if trying to reach out for a hug towards someone, there is a stylized Rai Neko, a biomechanoid, and a Promethean, all of whom look exactly like you. And you are falling toward this at breakneck pace. What do you do?
Paco's going to assume dies in form.
You go.
Okay. I'm gonna really casually lean back with my neck towards the ground, and I'm gonna close my eyes and tilt my head back real cool like.
Solomon's just, oh my god! What? And flailing, just madly. Yeah, and that's about it.
Okay, so I will now ask everyone to roll I believe it's a deafness check. So I have a certain number in mind, and you have to roll below it.
Uh-oh.
Shit.
Alright, so you said it was exclamation point roll. Then
Yeah.
what?
Space
Exclamation
and then
point.
1d20.
Yes. Or you could do R space D20. Okay. So, for the only one who is screaming and flailing, falling down, Soloman, in a panic as he reaches down at the bottom. Even though you're falling at basically terminal velocity, the moment that you reach the floor, there is just kind of this cushion of air that stops you from slamming into the ground, and you in that quick moment with your reflexes, you're just able to just right yourself, and you fall on your feet as if it was just a simple jump that you made. But for Pako and Handy, as you're falling, you basically just crash headfirst into the floor. There's no damage, but it's definitely just a thump.
I'm good, fellas. I'm good. That I may have overreacted a bit on that. Good God, yeah, y'all didn't have the same landing I did. Yeah, that looks rough. But hey, everybody's different.
This scenario does not make sense to me.
Yeah, I'm with the robot. I don't know how to communicate with you either.
Yeah.
Wait, what? You don't know how to... I can communicate with the robot just fine. He's a little
That's
quirky, but...
Debatable.
We're not having a debate. I can.
This is quite an interesting view we have here on the floor.
Yeah, quite the group of guys here.
Pako is going to put his ear to the stained glass floor and try to decipher what's going on with it.
Yeah, I seen you doing that up there. Does the floor like...
Just shh, let me listen.
Okay, sorry.
As you listen in, there is a, I want to describe it as like a wind chime like noise inside of this stained glass.
I pick up my
But
head
the
off the
surrounding area, you are pretty much in the exact same pitch black. The only light available to you coming from this stained glass station.
Did you hear anything, bud?
It sounds like somebody has a house under there.
You heard a house?
Yeah, like, like typical things you would hear going near a house. That's all I got.
Yeah, hey, that's more than nothing. Good on you.
All right. So as you are discussing, it's not really a voice that you hear. It's more of an evocative feeling, like something is speaking to your soul almost, even though, one of you is like a biomechanoid and you don't have like a whole lot of like organic parts like the other two members of the party. It's almost like someone is like typing into your console and you're just kind of reading it off in your head, and the voice that calls out says that power sleeps within each of you. Give it form and it will give you strength. And as it happens, 3 pillars kind of rise up next to the station that you're on. And it's another pillar that is similar to the one that you're standing on. However, they're smaller, and on the center is different weapons. In the one in the top left pillar, there is just a basic sword, like as simple as it could possibly be made. In the other one is a blank slated shield, and in the third one is this large staff with a green gemstone topping it. And on each of those stations that come up, those pillars, the stained glass that covers them is a stylized rendition of that thing that is floating in the center of it. So, for the sword, there's like a very stylized, fancy sword on that pillar. For the shield, it's like this beautiful, intricately like not carved, but like forged shield with like symbols of a royal family almost. And on the staff, there is this like intricately carved and carefully worn staff with like a kind of like a rotation of gemstones going down and runes carved into the staff. And the voice, well, again, it's not a voice per se, it's just like a feeling of something speaking to you, but no sound being heard. What do you do? Yep. I will go ahead.
Wants what, guys?
I will tell you here, out of character, just so you guys are aware of what's going on. This is where you will be choosing your callings. Depending on what you choose and what is coming will determine which calling you have going forward. For the listeners, we are doing this mostly because, again, brand new, so why not make it random in a way? Let your character decide what calling they're going to be,
Yeah, pick up the staff.
I'm gonna go towards the staff as well.
I guess that leaves me too then. So the sword and shield.
So I will go ahead and so you two, the two of the Pako and Handy begin to walk over to the staff, and when you come to it, it's kind of like the pillar kind of splits in two almost, and when you reach out for the staff, you're both on your own platform, And when you grab onto the staff, the blackness that is the void that the station is currently inhabiting kind of shatters. And from it, you see reflections and glass around you as though mirrors are reflecting of you. For Handy, what you see in these reflections is, of course, in these many reflections, you see your life as you have once lived at some point. You see yourself, going out, fixing bridges, building barns and such, kind of digging out crevices, as well as fixing and forging, little things here and there and working with it. But you also see in one of these reflections is you stood before a large hologrammed face, and it is speaking to you, but you don't understand what it is saying in this reflection. But what you hear, in much the same way from before, where someone is kind of like typing within your console, is the power of the wise teacher, the wisdom to lead, and the staff that brings wonder, the path of a wise hero. Is this what you wish to bring on your journey?
Okay, I think during this time, since I'm assuming we were just kind of thrown in here without any recollection of what we were beforehand, I like to imagine that immediately upon seeing all of the shattered images and reflections, that my character goes blank and starts compiling data, but snaps out of it as soon as he hears those words, looks at the staff, looks at the face, listens for the voice, and nods his head.
All right, this is the path that you choose. And the voice, again, like someone typing in your console, no words are being heard for you, is your path has been set. And the glass kind of reverses in and of itself and kind of condenses down into the staff and is filled into that green gem that is topping it. But as you're holding on to it, that green gem turns a crimson red. And then at the same time, for Pako, whenever you go to grab it, in your own station, you're kind of both reaching for the same staff, but as you go to grab onto it, it splits and you're kind of shoved into separate pillars at the same time, and the world shatters around you. But what you see is, instead of, in one iteration of these reflections, is you do see yourself, Pako, reaching out for the staff, but you don't see iterations of a previous life like what Handy saw. You see other people, there's a Promethean, there's a dwarf, there's a Chib, there's all of these different people in these reflections grabbing for, one is grabbing the sword, one is grabbing the shield, another is grabbing the staff, and it is just an infinite number of these other people grabbing for what you are and what your party members are also grabbing for. But for Pako, the other reflection that you see is you see this gigantic pyramid, set in the middle of a desert with a town kind of at its center. And you see 3 people, shadows, where you can't really make out their form, walking towards this pyramid that begins to have this bright blue, laser light kind of shooting up into the air.
Huh. Oh, okay.
And you hear the same thing as before: the power of the wise teacher, the wisdom to lead, and the staff that brings wonder, the path of a wise hero. Is this what you wish to bring on your journey?
I feel like Paco's kind of taken aback by what he just saw, because there's no reason for him to was he able to see anything that Handy saw?
No. So
Okay.
This is unique to you, because it's all, for you two, it's something only you see. And since both of you went to the staff, it's happening at the same time.
Okay. He's gonna be a little taken aback by this, I don't understand kind of why that was there, but I really like the staff, so I'm pretty confident in my choice.
All right. the voice that is not a voice echoes within your soul. Your path has been set, and the pillar that you were on re-merges with Handy's pillar, and you're both holding basically an exact copy of the staff that you reached for, but while his gem is red, yours turns into this baby blue color as it kind of fills the gem like it's water. All right, so Soloman, which do you go for? You have a choice.
I guess I will go for the shield.
The shield, all right. When you go to reach for it, you see kind of the same thing that was happening before, but the pillar doesn't split for you. It's simply the space around you shatters, and reflections of your life from before come into play, where you grew up, how you grew up, where you were trained to try and protect the elven nobles that you were made to protect, and you see yourself in your training and in the future. And as you continue on, there is a one reflection that catches your eye, where you see a almost a seaside town that you don't recognize, and you watch as the sky goes dark, and this gigantic black sphere kind of appears in the center, and this purple miasma begins to creep out from it, swirling around it, and the islands that surround the seaside town begin to be picked up and drawn towards the sphere. For Soloman, that is what you see, and what you hear is words that are not words within your soul. The power to guard those you love, empathy for those who cannot defend, and the shield that will protect them. The path of a strong hero. Is this what you wish to take on your journey?
Sure, but yeah, I'll protect them.
All right. You take the shield, and you hear your path has been set, and everything kind of reforms and coalesces back into the shield. This plain, wooden shield that is now attached to your arm that you are holding on to. All right, so as far as everyone needs to go in, I have no clue where all of the items are at because I did not write this down. I am foolish and unprepared. But here we go. So it would definitely be a large shield. So standard shield for Soloman, add to your inventory a standard shield, 1 slot. The ability that shields give you is you can parry 1 melee or missile attack per fight. This includes spells or any special attacks that require an attack roll. And then nice. Standard shields require 1 hand to use, so they affect your ability to use 2-handed weapons. You get a defense bonus of 1, and it takes up 1 slot in your inventory.
Okay, got it.
And then for the 2 that chose the staff, don't know if we actually have just like regular staves or anything like that, or if you can even choose stuff like that. I don't see anything here, but it would probably end up just being like a regular standard weapon. It would probably be an arc weapon, looking at the given examples of it. Yeah, long weapons that allow their wielders to make wide, dangerous strokes that hit several enemies at once. So instead of it being standard, it would be a 3-slot weapon. And it has, when wielding one-handed, you suffer a minor penalty, which is a -2 on attack rolls, attack stunts, and combat tricks. It has the weapon ability, Deadly Sweep. You can hit 2 enemies in the same battlefield area with 1 attack, make a single attack roll, and apply the result to both enemies. And then it is +1 heart for attack rolls of 20 and above. So it's still that same thing, but it takes up 3 slots. So the pillars begin to slowly fall back down from where they came from as you guys are still standing on them. What do you do?
Is there anything else in the area around us now that the pillars are going away?
At the moment, no. It's just the large center station that is available to you that you originally landed on.
I would like to head back towards the center and try to meet back with everybody.
Yeah. Same here.
I'm going to be doing the same.
All right. Is there anything to say to each other?
Did y'all hear anything when you got your fancy staffs there?
There was a whole slideshow.
It feels as though we've been chosen for a particular purpose. For what, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it seems to be hinting at that. I'm lost on what it might be, but I'm thinking they'll fill us in on what it is at some point. But hey, we got some fancy gear out of it. For free, too. Didn't have to pay a dime.
I feel as though I have made a good choice, and I hope that you feel the same way.
Yeah, I do. Your staffs, they're different colors. Do you guys know why?
I don't, but it said that I was wise for picking it, so that's a plus.
Well, hey, yeah, that's never bad. Never bad. Did it tell you that, Handy?
It did. What did it tell you, Soloman?
It told me I was wise as well. So, looks like we're a bunch of wise guys.
A bunch of wise guys. I will note that in my records.
The wise guys. All right, so next what happens is kind of a shifting of the station that you're on, where the glass, you hear it break once again, but as you're readying yourselves, getting ready to fall again, it instead reforms into a different image, and it is now instead a large sun rendition bearing over a seaside town, and you hear you feel this voice begin to speak to you without saying anything. But to move along the path, something must be left for those who come next. What will you gift them? And there is now, instead of these 3 side pillar stations, there is now a table and like a box that almost sits up at one of the edges of this station. And there are 3 boxes before you, and each one is just kind of sitting there open.
I'm gonna approach one of the boxes.
All right. Do you choose the left one, the middle one, or the right one?
Can I see inside of these boxes?
You can lean over, and in each one of the boxes, there is a small sword, a small shield, and a small wand. They're both identical to what you saw earlier, but the wand is it's just a cylinder of wood, basically, with like a bronze tipped end.
Okay.
And you have the feeling that if you close the lid, that will be what you leave behind. In other words, this will help determine what your calling is, based on what you have picked to take with you and what attributes you have chosen to leave behind.
I'm going to ask Candy what he sees in the boxes.
It seems as though while we are making a choice for what we wish to take with us, the same choice is given for what we wish to leave. I would like to take more time and assess this if someone else would like to step forward in my place.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't make much sense if I went with the shield, so that one's kind of off the table for me. I'm leaning with the wand in there. But if anybody else would pick that one, I don't want to tread on them, so...
It seems as though there are enough boxes for all of us to choose our own object to be left behind.
Okay, yeah, true.
So,
yeah.
Solomon, do you go forward and close the box with a wand in it?
Yes, that's the one I'm going to
All right.
close.
So, as you walk forward and you close the box, the voice calls out again, a gift for the next ones. And the box disappears almost, and you hear a crack in the station below you, and what you see is the crack appears in the sun that is over the seaside town, and from this crack in the sun, you see a third of it turn into this black that matches the void surrounding you. And when you look back, the box with a wand is reopened before you. But you feel when you close the box, you have this innate sense of kind of being closed off from something, like you yourself have left something behind that you will never have access to before. So you chose to take the shield and leave behind magic. So your calling is the champion. So for champion, your starting abilities, you start with these three. You will have combat momentum, favored weapon, and into the fray at rank 1. Who is making the next choice?
Paco's gonna go up to the boxes and check them out. So for mine, it would just be the same thing that Handy sees.
Yes, you see in each of the boxes a small sword, a small shield, and a small wand.
Paco's gonna go and close the lid on the sword. Pako isn't a fan of swords. He likes magic, or at least the idea of it.
All right, when you do so, you feel the same thing as what Soloman felt. This feeling of a gift left for those who come next. And you feel yourself, whereas Soloman felt like him being closed off to something, you feel yourself almost like shrink in a way, not by a lot, but you can definitely feel like your muscle mass and like the strength that you had before kind of leave you. As you have chosen the Heretic calling.
What does Heretic do?
And then Heretic is all the way at the bottom. It is the very last one.
I see.
All right. Handy. Your choice is to be made. As the sword box reopens and the sun shatters once again, as now 2/3 of the sun with only a center orange light emitting from it, as it turns into this dark void ball, and the tapestry that is below you, this stained glass styling, you see this seaside town. It begins to grow darker, and this purple miasma is beginning to flow up from the town.
After assessing the choices of those before me and thinking what it is that I need to accomplish my goals, there is only one clear decision. I would like to put the lid on the shield and cast it away.
All right. So as you do so, almost at the same time before you can even react, this time you do hear a voice call out. But this one is monotone in replication, as if there's no emotion behind it as you say this, and it is just simply a gift to be left behind and taken by another. And then the sun begins to crack away, leaving a hole in the center of just inky blackness. The seaside town, now you watch as it begins to float and almost be pulled toward this hole. I now need everyone to roll a d20 as we are going to make a check. I think making a might or a deafness check would fit here.
Real quick, what's my calling?
Your calling is going to be, you chose magic but gave up defense, you will be the sage. So the next thing that I need everyone to do, once you roll me your d20s for your rolls, so we have pretty much everyone is able to pass. You all, as you're being pulled in to this dark hole that has appeared in the center of this stained glass, you're able to kind of, whether it's just bashing your staff or your sword that you may have onto you into the ground to be able to hold on to it. Maybe you're holding on to the legs of the table or like the edge of the station itself. The pull of this hole is getting stronger and stronger, but you are able to stave off the effects of being pulled in at the moment.
What was that? Just tried to get us all in there, huh?
It is
Good Lord,
still
everybody here?
ongoing, by the way.
Oh, okay. Just like, everybody hold on. Everybody here.
Does not seem to be anything to hold on to.
I'm using my cat-like reflexes in order to stabilize myself very quickly.
I'm just, like, kind of trying to make myself seem like I'm more masked than I am, which I know doesn't help the situation, but it's the only thing I got.
All right. So as you guys are holding on, the islands that have begun to be pulled into the hole themselves, some fall in all the way, and others remain floating as if they're not able to be pulled all the way, and eventually it stops. And a voice will call out for... Oh no, I didn't write this down. Never mind. Okay, a voice does not call out, but instead a door appears above where the hole once was, pulling everything in, and it is it's like a very large, fancy marble door with like golden metal inlays around it. And it is currently shut, just sat in the middle of that hole.
I mean, the logical answer seems to be approach this.
Yeah, I think we should probably just go on through that door.
I'm
Seems
already
to be
walking
the
towards the door.
Okay, he's going. So, yeah, I guess we'll just follow him, Andy.
Yep. I'm going to follow right behind him.
All right. Once the door opens, this bright light kind of fills the area that you're in. It's almost blinding to you, but as you continue to walk forward, the light dims and you find yourselves at the edge of another station with no door behind you, seemingly as if you walked from nowhere to reach this station. And what you see is, in this stylized stained glass, there are stars that match the outline of each of you. So there are kind of like 3 constellations that have been set into this station. But it is currently empty.
Look at that, guys. We got some stars up there. They look like us. That's wacky. How does that happen, Andy?
This whole scenario seems to be wacky.
Yeah. That's how I would describe it. It's just wacky all around. You got anything, Pako, on the stars there?
I think you guys think a little bit too much about the logical and illogical.
Well, I'm not.
What else is there but logical and illogical?
I mean, there's like a whole gray area thing, but you know what? I feel like we can talk about this later, and we could try to get out of here.
Okay. At what point in time would you like to talk about this? I can make a note.
Also, it's not every day that you're gonna see stars. That
I'm gonna go check out like the edge or something, and not just stand here.
Okay, we'll go with you, Pako.
You can remain a good distance.
Okay, I mean whatever you want, but we'll go this way. Yeah, tell us if you find anything. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All
All right,
Pako.
so as you reach the edge, you're able to kind of look over and you see this massive pillar below you holding up this station where it's these are more like a kind of like a spiral of stained glass color going down it, and it just goes on for infinity until eventually you just can't see it go any further.
A staircase, you said?
It's built into the side of the station, so it's just like what the sides of the pillars look like. It's not really like a stairway. It's just like spirals going down.
So I don't think we could get down that. Doesn't seem too safe. Anybody else see anything?
What else do we have in the area?
Currently, it is just the station that you're on with these constellations. Where
maybe we should try and stand in the order of the constellations.
It's a good idea there. There you go. All right, well, we need Pako. Hey, Pako.
Huh? I was really trying to figure out how to get down these stairs.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible, but they look pretty steep. I mean, if you want to go for it, you can. But
my instincts tell me that I really want to jump down.
Well,
but my
how
brain
about
tells me otherwise.
I think we should try Handy's idea first and try to organize ourselves.
I don't think I can go down these.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
My instinct tells me I should throw myself off.
Oh, right. Okay.
That seems illogical. Is this what you mean when you say there's more than just logical and logical?
I mean, it plays a part in it. But you know what? The logical things kind of sounds good right now compared to what I have going on.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you just got to follow your gut. But, yeah, I would say this probably isn't one of those. I mean, doesn't seem like the best of decisions. But, who am I to tell you what to do? You can do whatever you want. But I think we should try this.
Handy and me are already standing in formation.
Yo, God, gee, y'all are so quick.
So when everyone stands on one of the stars of their constellation, you hear a voice call out, this time with more emotion behind it, but it still has like a monotone feeling to it. And it calls out to say, a team must always be able to rely on each other to pick themselves up at their lowest and raise them to their highest. And you feel a golden string kind of tie itself around your finger and connect to the next star in your constellation. And you can feel that as you continue on in this constellation, you feel different things happen. So if you go and stand to the next constellation, you feel the first one is you feel yourself become stronger, but as you walk to the next one, you instead lose that strength, but you gain quickness and become more nimble. And if you move on to the next one after that, you feel yourself just grow more rugged and determined in your path. The next one, you feel kind of your perception slightly increased and you're able to perceive more. Your hearing kind of picks up. And then in the next one, you just kind of don't really get a feeling with it. So mechanically, what is going on? Pick a star that you would like to stand on. The star that you stand on will determine which of your attributes will increase by 1. So you have a star for your might, your deafness, your grit, your insight, and aura. And you will do this twice.
I guess I would probably want to stand on might, and then Which one specifically impacts like the ability of your magic?
I am unsure, as I have not really read most of the class abilities and what they use. So for Sage, because it is different for each one, let me see if I can find it.
Because I definitely would still want to have some strength to me.
Here we go, Sage. It looks like most of them use Insight for Sage.
Okay, then I will do Insight and Might.
All right, Insight and Might is what you will use. And then for Heretic, they use Grit and Aura. Mostly.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go for. Probably just one in each.
And then for Soloman, which stars does he stand on?
I'll go to Might, Might and Grit.
All right. On your character sheets, make sure you mark those as being a +1 to those abilities. So they're just one higher than what the class base stat is. All right. And then the stars that you stand on begin to light up and glow with the respective color that you have. So for Soloman, his is green, Handy's is red, and Pako's is blue. But now, if you move again to another one, you instead feel one of these respective traits, you kind of get weaker in that sense. So now you have to choose your negative trait, as the voice calls out, but for every boon, there must also be a bane.
Are we doing 2 or just 1?
Just one.
Just 1? Okay.
Just one.
I'm probably gonna say deafness for me.
I'm gonna do Grit.
I will go to Insight.
All right. Make sure you properly mark that on your sheets as you go to each of your set constellations, and all of your stars begin to glow once you get to the final one, and this thread picks up from the constellations, and you see that each thread, as it is kind of reeling in back on itself, go wrapping around your finger, but never really getting bigger or covering more of your pinky. The string fades out, and each string leads back to one of you, kind of creating a triangle of thread wrapped around each of your pinkies between you, kind of connecting you. And this thread kind of disappears from your pinky as another door appears before you. And this time, whereas before it was like a white marble, this one leads into one that is kind of the opposite of it, where it is black, made from like onyx or obsidian, and it is kind of stylized and etched with silver colors.
Well, I suppose we go through that door too, huh? Just keep going.
It seems we don't have any other options.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah.
If that's the only place we can go, let's go.
All right.
You walk through the door. So as it stands, is your character sheet filled out properly, as far as you are aware?
Yes, for me.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, do we need anything for like purviews?
Purviews come from your history.
Okay. So then, as far as I'm aware, I am good to go.
So as long as everyone has their abilities and everything is pulled out proper, You walk through this door, but instead of it being a bright light, you now just see before you where this door is, kind of like a window into another station, where instead of it being like this bright sun that you saw before on the previous station, it is now a burnt out sun, where it looks like it doesn't have any color to it, but it is now colored in a dull white. But below is is kind of like the equivalent of a world map, where there are like continents, there's oceans, and for anyone that has the actual Break PDF, you can see the map of Outer World shown below this burnt out sun.
I start walking.
Yeah.
All right.
I was
When
trying
you
to
do,
look for the PDF, sorry.
yeah. So as you walk through, once everyone is on the other side, the door shuts, and for the first time, you can see shadows begin to form underneath you. And the voice calls out this time, saying, "For a hero to move forward, they must be able to leave their faults behind them and rise to the occasion." And from your shadows come these malformed, like skeletons almost, where they kind of click and clack together, but they're made of like this black miasma-like substance, like it's oil dripping from them. And each of them have different weapons. One of them has like a rapier, another one has just a regular standard sword, and then you have another one that has a longbow, and they appear from your shadows that kind of stretch out before you on the other side of the arena. And this is where we learn how to fight.
The team here at Shooting Dice consists of Hunter Childers as our game master, Kolby Gilbert, who plays Soloman Sanders, Trent Hall, who plays Handy the Robot, and myself, JJ Bruno, who plays Pako Ittel. We would also like to give thanks to our amazing friend Haley for voicing the final divine of Outer World. This could not have been done without the new TTRPG system, Break. Everybody at Shooting Dice urges you to go check it out. And if you would like to follow us on Twitter, or X, I'm not really sure what it's called anymore, you can find us at shooting_dice. We are also on Threads under shooting_dice_podcast. Us here at Shooting Dice, thank you for giving this episode a listen, and please don't forget to save before continuing to part 2.
Well, again, it's not a voice per se, it's just like a feeling of something speaking to you, but no sound being heard. What do you do? I will go
who
ahead.
wants what, guys?
Can you guys
I will
give me
tell
like
you here.
5 seconds to go put my cat outside real quick? I didn't want to interrupt while you were doing the monologue, but I know we can cut this out.
How dare you?
He woke up and he started meowing. I had to mute my mic. I was like, shut up! Come on, buddy. Come on, mister.